If you get any closer to that mic, it's gonna, ask for a ring or something. I just want to make sure that got into the Zoom recording.
And welcome to episode 217 of Masters of the Forge. My name is Adam, and with me as always is Jason. Hi, Jason.
Hey, Adam. Hi, everyone.
I'm drinking coffee at 8:30 at night. This is a good sign.
Hey, man. Yeah. I too am drinking a caffeinated beverage at this time. Let's see what happens.
That must explain the great reviews we're getting on iTunes.
Oh.
Here we go. 2 stars. Don't waste your time. There's already a few 100,000 boring podcasts featuring liberal hosts. Semicolon. Does the world really need another? This is a boring show all around, and the hosts are chronically unfunny. By Randy R. Thank you, Randy R. I appreciate that. Not sure why you did 2 stars. I think maybe he might be thinking there's this conspiracy to ignore 1 and 5-star ratings or something.
Honestly, I still think he needs to hear a racist slur to get erect.
Yeah, that's probably he's probably that kind of person. That's true. That's true. I'd also like to remind everyone that we will be having a Halloween hobby hangout on Saturday, yes. October 28th.
Yes, I'm so looking forward to this.
Bring your favorite movie. Well, we won't be able to watch everybody's movie.
Yeah.
But bring a favorite movie, especially if you come early, then you could just stream a movie. Technically starting at 6, but I suspect we should, some people will probably be on early.
I'll be on. This is 6 p.m. Eastern Standard so time, 5 o'clock CST, etc.
Etc. So yeah, keep that in mind. We'd love to see folks in the Discord. If you don't, if you're not connected to the Discord, send us an email at mastersoftheforge@gmail.com and get connected.
Okay. Randy, you don't need to send us an email.
No,
Randy, I know you're still, lurking, but
Yeah, no, it's yeah, he doesn't need to apply at all. I love how we assume it's a guy. Like Randy could be a girl's name. It's definitely a guy. Okay.
Well, that does make me wonder, about my earlier statement. But no, I'm going to keep it that statement because we're not going to go into biology. So anyway, let's keep going.
It's a thing. Okay. So, Jason, how have you passed the time the past few weeks?
I've actually got some hobby progress in.
Woot woot.
Yeah, the semester's finally hold on. Quote unquote calming down.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on wood. Hold on. Yep, forehead's still there. Okay. So I've actually got I've been getting some hobby in, which has been really nice. So my airbrush, I have that H&S airbrush that I paid a lot of money for, and it's a really good brush. And I managed to jam up that cone-shaped part behind the nozzle, which I'm going to blame it on some primer that went bad, and I shouldn't have shot primer through that, but I was annoyed and did it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, it clogged back in August, and I just haven't had a chance to order the replacement part. So it did come in a couple of days ago, and it works, and it works well. In fact, the first thing I did was start airbrushing like immediately, even though it was rather late, but whatever. So let's see. Daradeo, I can finally talk about this. Okay, so thank you, Games Workshop, for sending us the Age of Darkness box with the Daradeo and the Mark III stuff, and I have no idea which tank it is because I don't care. I mean, I care, but I mean, I do care. I will build it. It's just the Daradeo was like, dessert of the meal, so I built that first. So it's built, primed, base coated. I'm still working on the red layers. I really liked the build. It did take a few nights to do, only because I was tired and I was magnetizing the legs of the torso into the back-mounted rocket, or the shoulder-mounted rocket launcher. One thing I've noticed, like I've been lucky enough to bought a couple of the resin kits, like the couple of Sicarans and a few other things, and I've always heard, hey, you can do so much more detail in resin than you can in plastic. And while that is true, you can go through and make a lot of really small plastic bits that all connect together to give you that resin detail. And this model just reinforced that. Like, the Sicaran had already reinforced that, Spartan had already reinforced the plastic ones, and the Daredeo is just like, hey, all your resin belongs to us, or whatever. I don't know.
Daredeo.
So anyways, I built this guy as a plasma Daredeo because I wanted to do a fun plasma paint showing that I don't model for whatever, because I'm not even sure if the plasma is a decent loadout. I just wanted
plasma always looks pretty on a model.
Right. That's really the... I was going for pretty on this one. Yeah. I do need to finish this one before the end of the month for Dreadtober. Yes. For those of you who are on the Hobby Discord, you can do Dread or Orc. We don't care.
Yes.
In fact, you should do both.
Yeah, you should do an Orc Dread. Duh.
Yeah.
Always.
Remember those two Demos Rhinos that I built, like, I don't know.
I do not.
In April, March, they had Thousand Suns upgrade doors. I know I talked about it, but I never I primed them and never did anything else with them. So I finally am doing the base coats in the red. It takes a while to do the red just because I have to do a layer, then let the layer set, and I went through and painted 2 of those plus the dreads so that I wouldn't have paint sitting in my airbrush. And I'll be honest, I threw it through my priming brush because I just need to put a lot of paint down in a very thin layer. So let's see. Tac Support Squad. Okay, so the new Mark III armor that's in that new box. Oh man, that is so nice. Like, the stuff from the Prospero box, the old one, was great, but it was a pain to build because the legs had 2 parts, the torso had 2 parts, the arms went a certain way, and there's all these parts that were really intricate and kind of fiddly. And the new Mark III isn't as fiddly. In fact, it's almost just one step above, and this might be an insult. I'm not trying to be insulting, but it's almost one step above the push fit. Like, you don't have to push fit it, but it's very easy to build. Now, to convert, no, that's going to be a disaster to try and convert.
Oh, is it like the sockets are all like those, like almost slotted edges that fit together a very specific way?
Yeah,
like the current 40K.
Yeah, like they're models. Beautiful. They're beautiful. I love them, but you can't. They're not. They're in the same vein as I think it's the new 40K TAC. No, it's not the new TAC Marine box. It's the whatever the Primaris is. It's kind of built in that same way, so that you can't.
Right.
You got to make sure you got the correct arms and legs, the correct torso. Otherwise, blah. I did cut off the pith spike though on the helmets because one, I didn't like it, and two, these are going to be Thousand Suns, and Thousand Suns wear tuning forks on their helmets, not spikes, sir.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
now if they'd been tuning forks, man, I would have loved those. Or if I could find a way to just get a whole bunch of little tuning forks and hate myself as I'm putting it on there, I might do that. Let's see. Karos Fate Weaver. I don't know when I built that. I know it's this past year, but I know I built it. And I primed it, but I never did anything with it. And so I put a nice purple to blue fade on the model.
Yeah, that was looking good, dude, right? Yeah. Just with that one simple sit down with the airbrush, right?
Yeah, that was maybe 10 minutes. I mean,
right.
But it was nice because it was a chance for me to put that new nozzle on and just be able to go through and run some air through it. Yeah. Let's see. Then Prospero. Okay, remember so for those of you like the old Prospero box had the Armin on there, the 30K version.
Is this just a Wayback Machine episode where
no,
we're just like
this is stuff I've done. No, this is stuff I've done. Like
it's all stuff you had or started ages ago, and you're like, I'm gonna finish all this off.
Yeah, basically. I did a nice little purple to light blue fade on the Cape of the Foot Armin. I have 3 of them though. It's like one on disc, he's finished. One on foot, which I just need to. I think all I needed left was the cape on it, and I've got one on sprue that I got at Adepticon this past year. Or was it last year? I don't remember.
What's the plural of Armon? Aramans?
I don't know. Armin? No, Armand.
Probably.
I don't know.
Aramen.
Armin. It's raining Armin. Hallelujah.
It's raining Aramen.
Yeah. And I seem to have misplaced my Thousand Suns bits box. I don't know where it went. And so I have to kind of stop building Mark IIIs until I can either A, find them, or B, order a new Exalted Sorcerer kit. But that's out of stock because I don't know why it's out of stock. Almost all the Thousand Suns stuff is out of stock on GW right now. It's kind of weird.
Huh.
Like, I know it's not...
it was like, I think it was pretty good.
Yeah.
When Devastating Wounds?
Yeah.
I don't even know what it's called. Were super good. That's a thing.
Yeah, actually when Devastating Wounds were better, they were really good. But yeah, that's my hobby. A bunch of, Wayback Machine. Hey, I've got this thing that needs to be painted. Hey, look, my airbrush works again. Yay.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Love
that's pretty cool. What about you, man? I see you've actually gone through and chopped off stuff too.
Yeah, I've been doing some hacking and chopping. I built the 20 steel helms from the Age of Sigmar, Cities of Sigmar box. I think that's a cool kit. Certainly the faces and everything are way better than the old Free Guild. I'm still going to use my old Free Guild, but it'll be nice to have a couple units of these. Plus, the old Free Guild don't have war priests, so there's a war priest in every unit, but they don't have musicians anymore. So technically, you could probably get away with saying, "Yeah, my musicians are my priests." But I'm actually doing.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I have the priests. I have extra priest built, so I can kind of swap out models.
Okay.
But I took some arms from the Night Haunt. There's an arm on the Night Haunt that's holding a giant candelabra. So I took a couple of those and I made some extra war priests out of those. So I can put those in my old squads. And they're still on 25mm bases, so that makes it so much easier. I had a whole bunch of Free Guild still in my box, so I went through and I chopped their heads. I carved at their heads until the feathers came off, and I glued feathers to the hats of most of my Free Guild or my new steel helms. And also I took what remained of my HO scale dahlia flowers and glued those on. I had to order some more dahlias
Yeah.
for the remainder. Especially I'll be doing some more models later. I'm just out of flowers and I need the flowers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
So
can. Did you order those already, or
yeah, they're ordered.
okay,
They're
good.
usually like they can be like expensive. So on eBay, usually it's like $13 plus $7 shipping or something.
Right.
Because a lot of the time it's the what's it called, Bush brand uh, scale model accessories, and I think they're out of Germany.
Okay.
But I did find one, and they don't. They were carrying the brand at my local train store, but that train store closed. So I had to resort to Amazon for this one. It was $13 plus shipping, and you
Yeah.
get 100 flowers, but there's that. Okay, so
Yeah.
I ordered the flowers, and I'm gonna start painting those when we get back from vacation.
All right.
Yeah, I think really that's it. I ordered the new Warcry set that comes with the Cities of Sigmar hunting party that has
Right.
the dogs and stuff in it, which is going to be super fun.
Oh yeah.
But I'm just kind of sitting and waiting for the other kits to come out, like the Fusiliers and the artillery and like all the
Mhm.
kits that are not out yet. I'm waiting for those.
Yeah. That's yeah.
You
That's a
guys
good
gave
idea.
me some gift cards for my birthday, which I
Yes.
appreciate, and so I'm using that's what I'll be using that for.
Yeah, you thought you weren't going to get, anything on your birthday, or you were trying not to let any of us know.
Well, I mean, it was that was
Yeah.
not my weekend, but
We had a
that
damn good
is
time.
that
And
is
no, I'm
yeah
not censoring that.
we did have we did have a nice time. It was a good time. So Jason,
No, I don't have any games
what have you
played.
been working on? Like aside from, okay, we do have a games played section,
Yeah.
but you're a busy man.
Yeah.
I did have a couple games with Tucker. We played Age of Sigmar.
Yeah.
Um, I tried out the new Cities of Sigmar army, and his first game he played Nurgle, and his
Nice.
second game he played Stormcast. He's gearing up to do some recordings at Frontline Gaming, not Frontline Gaming.
Oh,
Uh,
mini wargaming.
Mini Wargaming.
Yeah,
Thank you.
good.
Up at Mini Wargaming. So he's just getting practice for that, and I'm just here's just Age of Sigmar is a lot. Like there's always like a lot going on, a lot of little ability. Everything has all these little abilities that have to be done at a certain time, and I've got tokens everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's just it takes so much effort to get to the point where you can do things without having to think about it. So like last night we played from something like 8 o'clock to 12:30 midnight. Like
Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot, right? But
Yeah.
I appreciate him coming down and doing that. He's got his game room pretty much almost set up, so I'll probably go over there the next time we play.
Well, my place is getting closer to being organized so I can actually, game. I mean, my problem was that I moved in, left everything in boxes, then didn't touch it for like a year. So
right. Yeah.
But I know where my Zone Mortalis board is.
Well, that's hard to miss.
No, yeah, man, that's a few tubs that are very, very noticeable. But yeah, and that's going to probably go in my dining room since I don't have a dining room, or I'm not interested in doing a dining room. So yeah, so yeah, that's why I don't have any games right now. I'm hoping that's to remedy that in November.
Yeah, and when I get back, I would really like to try to get another game of 40K with Kendrick.
Yeah.
For our campaign, but I suspect, I forget when they're going to. I think they're going to Canada in November, so I'll probably commit to just like helping everybody like learn their rules a little bit better for Canada, and for me
Yeah.
to learn my rules too.
Well,
Uh,
that's something that I noticed when we were in when I was in upstate with y'all is
mm,
I'm relearning my rules because of course we have a new edition change, and I've been playing this game for a wee bit, and so stuff like comes back and it starts to make sense.
mhm,
Um,
yeah,
but I would love to get more games in just so I know what I'm doing and I
right.
feel more comfortable running a game rather than just uh, ramshackling a game, for lack of a better
Well, yeah,
term.
like I guess I'll just take this stuff. I don't
Yeah,
need to remember what this stratagem does.
yeah,
Push models, roll dice, fall asleep.
yeah. And
Yeah,
Thousand Suns are
that's just not
yeah,
fun.
yeah. Well, a Thousand Suns um, can be intricate if you're not
Mhm.
careful.
Oh yeah, for
you know,
sure.
and just from playing a few games, I realized, okay, and do this. And then playing a few more games, I'm like, oh, yeah, no, that doesn't work. So,
Mhm.
you know, and there's a lot of things I like about it. I'm looking forward to the new codex because I think there will be even more things that I like about
Mhm.
that. So, yeah.
So speaking of
Oh, yeah.
when folks were here before, Mike forgot the Flint and Feather rule book.
Oh, that's right. He did.
Either that or he was like, I'm never going to play this game. I just want the models, which is
Wait,
entirely possible.
he may have forgotten to pick up that book.
It's possible he just forgot it.
He got the models though, right?
He did get the models,
Yeah, I think he
and
forgot to pick up the book.
it's an entire Mohawk tribe. It's amazing.
Really? That is
Yeah,
cool. Okay. Yeah.
and it came with like boats and everything, and a bear. I think there's a bear in there. The bear spirit. So cool. All right, let's go beyond the fringe.
YouTube live streams.
Okay.
Did you know that there's a 24/7 live stream of the old GI Joe cartoons on YouTube?
Oh dear.
I mean, they just stream them like constantly.
Yeah, that's the funny. I think they have a hard time policing the live streams. Like Quinn watches live streams too.
Yeah.
Of like,
Oh, I'd
I
turn
think
those
it's.
chats off.
I think there's stuff that just is hard to keep live on YouTube because
Yeah.
of copyright issues. But if you live stream it, someone has to notice, someone has to report you, and then someone has to take the time to shut you down. And in which time you could just go set up another live stream somewhere and keep moving.
I think this is one from Hasbro.
Oh,
Like that's
it's Hasbro's actual live
yeah.
stream. Kind of like there used to be the old Joy of Painting one until the family got more greedy.
No, it's still there. It's marathons on weekends though.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
There's I don't know why. I'm not a huge YouTube fan, but for some reason I just happened to notice there were a bunch of weird live streams. And there's
That's
some other
fun.
comic properties like the original Transformers stuff and a few other things.
Right.
So
Nice. Love it. Love that.
So weird.
So, and for my Beyond the stream, Beyond the
yeah,
Fringe,
man. There you go.
I had a big hiking weekend this past like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like immediately after our last recording, I think.
Yeah.
Did 15 plus miles
Nice.
with Sunny. We climbed one mountain, went down the mountain a little bit, went up another mountain a little bit, went all the way down that mountain, and then up another mountain, and then back down that mountain, back up the mountain, and down a little bit, and back up the mountain again, and then back down. So we hit we hit 3 peaks,
Uh-huh.
and two of them twice because it was an out and back. So it was a pretty hefty day. I was a little worried I wasn't in shape for it, but we managed pretty well. Hiked, I think we got to the trailhead at like 4:45 and
Oof.
started hiking at 5:30. I think we were back at the trailhead by 7:30 p.m. So 14-ish hours of
Okay.
hiking. It
Yeah.
was interesting. It was a beautiful, but it was peak foliage in the Adirondacks.
So it's going to be amazingly. It's going to be
It
beautiful. Yeah.
it was absolutely gorgeous. It was a
Yeah.
gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous day for a big hike. And I did waste a bunch of time sitting on top of mountains, but that's fine. That's what you're there for.
Yeah. It
So I guess
is.
it's not wasting the weekend, but
No, man.
or wasting time, but
It's a good way to unwind and make sure that you don't stab anyone.
that is exactly true.
Yeah.
Like
See?
I have found that I need these weekends or I need these hikes or I just lose my mind
Yeah. Well,
for
that's
real.
because we're chronically unfunny.
We are chronically unfunny. And then right after that, I met some friends for car camping, and then we went. They were paddling the river, one of the rivers up there, and I am not paddling because I have not paddled much, so I'm not going to be paddling down a river. So
Yeah.
their first stop was going to be at a lean-to along the river, which you can actually access from a short hike. So I drove up to that trailhead and I hiked into the lean-to and I set up camp and chopped a bunch of wood up and sawed a bunch of wood and yeah, we camped
Cool.
out for the night and then I went home. Driving home that weekend was unbelievable. The foliage
Yeah.
on the drive home was because it was cloudy the day I hiked, which is actually pretty good for hiking because you don't get as hot
Yeah.
and the sun doesn't beat on your head. But the day I drove home was sunny as hell, so it was just a truly gorgeous day in the Adirondacks. I was happy to do it.
That's cool. That is
Yeah.
cool. And upstate, whenever during that time of the year, is so beautiful.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It really is. My other Beyond the Fringe is if you are organizing youth sports for children under like 6 and you decide, what's a good time for youth sports for children under 6? 1 p.m. That is literally the worst time for young children to be playing sports on the weekend.
Because either they're tired or they're hungry.
It is just the perfect storm of tired and hungry. That is just terrible.
Yeah.
It's just terrible. Like Quinn is still napping, right? He still naps.
Yeah.
So by the time like 1 o'clock rolls around, he's useless. He doesn't want to do anything. So soccer has just been a nightmare because all of the times are like 1 o'clock.
Yep.
If they were doing these at like 9,
yeah, he'd be great.
He's a totally different person at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Hell, I'm a totally different person at 9 a.m. than 1 p.m.
That's true.
That's just a food for thought for you folks out there organizing youth sports.
Yeah.
Just stop scheduling things at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It is just the worst. All right. So, what do you have for Astropathic Communicate today, Jason?
So I don't play Horus Heresy because there's no one down here that plays it, and let's be honest, the rules, I'm not sure I really want to play 7th edition. But their demon rules are out. Those have come out, and I do like the demon rules. I like the way they work with demons in Horus Heresy because in 40k it's all very Nurgle, Tzeentch, Khorne, Slaanesh, and during the Horus Heresy it's just demons, just whatever, and there's a lot more freedom to kind of create your own little perfect monsters. And so I don't know, I like the rules, and this is something that the community's been wanting for a bit, and including me, even though I'm not playing, so whatever. But the rules are out and I'm really happy about that. What about you?
Oh, I heard that it's mostly for narrative play as well. Like you're not going to go to a matched play Horus Heresy event and expect to be able to bring demons.
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing is, Horus Heresy should be narrative, even
but people
though
are gross.
Yeah, I'm not going to go through and bring up any armies that I saw at Adepticon that made me want to puke. Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like I should sit here with, our friend John from Austin, and we can sit here and complain about that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I know he has feelings, and I don't blame him. So my Astro for the Communique, my favorite thing right now that I saw on Warcom recently was the Fangs of the Wolf battle report.
Yeah.
They I love when they do these retro battle reports where they take old missions from back in the day and they use all the modern models and try to do a fun battle report.
Yeah.
So it's Gazgul versus is it Ulrich the Slayer?
I think so. That sounds right.
I think so. Well, either way, it's a bunch of Space Wolf. Yeah, Niall's in there, that's for sure.
Oh,
He's in there. And Ragnar. No, not
I really
Ragnar.
do like that new Gazgul model.
I probably should have actually researched this. Anyways, it's a bunch of Space Wolf characters versus Gazgul and a whole bunch of cool Orc models and Space Wolf models.
Yeah.
And it looks like a lot of fun. I didn't actually watch the video yet. I wanted to sit down and relax and actually just watch it because I don't do that enough. I don't actually just sit and watch a battle report, which these Warcom battle reports, that's what they are.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the 40K and 40-minute battle reports. You don't put those on while you're painting. Those are ones you actually just watch because they're a reasonable time.
Yeah.
Where the ones from Mini Wargaming and some of the other ones, like especially the ones that are live streamed, those are definitely...
Oh, for painting, definitely.
I want to put that on while I'm painting, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I say one thing about the... because they released the old PDF. Also.
Yes, the old PDF is in here, yeah.
And if you look, there's an incredible picture of Andy Chambers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the one of Jervis is also amazing. First of all, Andy Chambers is definitely an orc. That's a picture of him before tobacco ravaged his features. And Jervis...
Wow.
Jervis's picture with the sunglasses is always amazing.
Well, it's Hunter S. Thompson is who it is.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like yes, nicotine is Andy's drug of choice, but Jervis is all cocaine all the time, for sure. God bless him.
All right, we are not saying that they do these things.
Okay.
I don't want to put a legal disclaimer on this thing.
No, I love those guys. They're the best. And Andy was so kind to me at Adepticon.
To name your dorks?
He did name the dorks. That's right. The demon orcs. That's so fun. He's a good guy. Okay. Let's take a break. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about the new Space Marines Crusade rules. Damn, I knew it was around here somewhere. Damn, where is it?
Can I help you?
Ah! Scared me.
What do you seek?
I need the perfect scenario for a narrative game I'm running this week, and I can't find one.
Sir, this is the Black Library. We don't have narrative scenarios.
Well, then where should I go?
Might I recommend the Tabletop Campaign Repo?
The Tabletop Campaign Repo? What's that?
The Tabletop Campaign Repo is an ad-free site for hosting resources related to playing tabletop miniatures wargaming.
Oh, like scenarios?
Absolutely. Also, event packs, custom objectives, tracking sheets, custom terrain rules, maps, icon packs, award templates, and more.
Oh, and this is for Warhammer 40K?
Among other things. There's also Age of Sigmar, Kill Team, Warhammer Fantasy Battle, and others. They're always open for content submissions for any system, even non-Games Workshop materials.
Oh, that's awesome. It sounds like a great way to save all of this great content the community makes. A lot of that stuff often ends up disappearing into a dead message board or Facebook group.
Exactly. It's a real community effort.
Great. So, how do I get there?
Just go to that webway gate marked tcrepo.com.
tcrepo.com. Got it. Can I ask you one more question before I go?
Fire away.
This place is really easy to find. How come Armon can never find it?
Oh, because it's more funny that way.
Oh, yeah, clearly.
Once again, the Tabletop Campaign repository can be found at tcrepo.com, and they're always looking for submissions.
I feel like we've been here before. We've done this before, haven't we?
What?
Yes, we did. Like 4 years ago.
Yeah, we do this all the time.
I don't know. I'm starting to get a little tired of doing this, but to be perfectly honest, it seemed like I wanted to see how this would go. So how we're doing this is, we used to do like we go through and do picks for each category.
Yeah.
And we'd kind of theme those picks around an army, like a specific army concept.
Yeah.
I thought, what if we actually did a Crusade army based on a theme, and then added Crusade elements to that army? Like we create kind of a roster, a fantasy roster, if you will, for a specific force. And I thought
exactly
maybe that would make it interesting enough and different enough that I didn't feel like we were just doing the same thing over again.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering what we were going to do, because how many of these Marine Codexes have we looked at?
Yeah, a lot. And I'm just kind of like, all right. And the effort level is pretty low as well. So it's like, it's easy. It's not easy, but it's like, it's easier than some other episodes. So anyways, let's give it a shot and we'll see how this goes.
All right.
So
I'll grab the detachments.
Yeah, go ahead and check this out. Yeah. Why don't you start us off?
So, I added stuff to the notes so I get to start. Yay! All right. New Codex is quite cool. Nice army examples. The color scheme plates are also really nice.
Yeah, they are pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, some of them are from before, like the one that has the Blood Ravens is from before. But actually, one of the things that I found really cool was Combat Patrol is a little bit different in this edition, where in the past you just kind of, you had 500 points and you chose what you had. And now it's, you pick up a box, and they actually have the, every model, every rule right there. And that's your Combat Patrol. And it's in the Codex. And I'm glad they have a librarian in there. Otherwise, I would have been really unhappy.
I forgot about this, Jason, in my games played. I can't believe I forgot this part.
What'd you forget?
My buddy Jarrell brought his son over because they wanted to learn how to play 40K.
Oh. I didn't know about that.
I took his kid had painted some 40K models, some Necrons and some Chaos Space Marines and stuff. And he actually painted a unit of Gretchen for me.
Aww.
And they're blue. They're the best. They're the luckiest Gretchen ever. Yeah. It was really cute. And each one has a name. I'm going to definitely use them in my next game.
Yeah.
Anyways.
That is cool. That is really cool.
After running through a few shooting phase like things between two units and a few combat phase things between two units, I had preemptively put together a Dark Eldar combat patrol and the Orc combat patrol from the combat patrol rules on the website that you can
Right.
download. And that worked just perfectly for showing them how to play the game.
That is cool. That
It's
is nice.
That's exactly what it's for. And Jarrell, my buddy, he was like, that's one of his questions was, if I were to get one of these combat patrol boxes, one of these starter boxes, is that an army that we can play?
Yeah.
Or do I have to get a bunch of other stuff? Like, is this viable to use?
Right.
And I said, funny you say that, because this is a big argument, or it can sometimes be a big argument. Like,
Yeah.
like what is a proper army? And this is the method of this is the reason why GW is doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
The way these boxes are put together and the combat patrol rules and the combat patrol system is exactly for this. It's for getting kids into the hobby.
Yeah. First one's free, kids.
Yeah, and that's what I said. Like the combat patrol rules or the combat patrol boxes are reasonably priced for what you're doing. So, and once you build them, you can actually start playing right away using these combat patrol rules, which are free online to download and print as you please.
Yep.
And so, like, that got them going. Like, that, I had a couple extra game mats, like the cardboard GW game mats that people gave me from Adepticon.
Right.
People didn't want them. I think, and John, you and John, I think, gave them to me.
Yeah.
Well, I turned around. I just gave those to Jarrell, so him and his kid can use those. And they were asking me about foam board and stuff, and so I think they're going to be putting some terrain together and playing together.
Yes.
So I love that. Dad and son building models and playing games and getting mad at each other. It's just the best. Just the best.
All right. That is nice. That's cool. I'm glad you're able to help them and, get new people into the hobby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
And it totally justifies everything GW was doing with the combat patrol.
Yeah, I wish this would have happened a little bit earlier, but whatever. I mean, Thousand Suns, I'm still doing the same thing. So whatever. All right.
And wasn't it awful explaining detachments to people? Like, well, you arrange your army in this detachment that has to be this guy and this guy. And no, you can't do that with the box you bought. You got to buy these other boxes, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Like, I remember 7th edition, and, I was back here and I was trying to explain stuff to people. And they're getting mad at me for this. I'm like, look, man, I don't work for them. They don't pay me. I think shortly after that, they started giving us free stuff. But I'm like, they don't pay me. All right. So getting onto detachments, now that we've actually said that, detachment in this new codex are pretty interesting because they've eliminated chapter tactics, which... I'm actually fine with, just because I play Blood Ravens when I play my Space Marines, and I really don't care about your detachments. I'll take them, or your chapter tactics.
Yeah, I feel like theming the army to its purpose rather than trying to... So people wouldn't always take the chapter tactic because they liked the chapter.
Yeah.
Instead, they were pairing a chapter tactic with some other sub-faction ability and putting them together in the most efficient way.
Right.
Where this, it's just...
The detachment's geared almost towards each chapter's fighting style.
Yeah.
Like the Gladius Strike Force... Clearly Ultramarines. There's pictures of Marines on there. So yeah. Anvil Siege Force, Imperial Fists, Ironstorm Spearhead. What do you think that might be? Yeah. Vanguard Spearhead, Raven Guard, and First Company Task Force, which is Black Templars, but I also thought it might be like First Company of Dark Angels.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, each one of these does seem to favor certain chapters,
Yeah.
but at the same time, every chapter has a first company.
Right.
Every company has fast attack. Every chapter has tanks and stuff.
Yeah.
But yes, if you're looking to if you're still looking to theme your army to a chapter,
Yeah.
there's going to be a detachment for you.
Stormlance Task Force is, of course, the White Scars. I really thought about taking that one just because I do. I will be honest.
They show White Scars on the page.
Oh yeah, there's literally 1, 2, 3. There's like 5 guys on bikes, and there's a giant White Scars decal, whatever, on each one of them. It's like, yeah, I wonder who these guys could be. Yeah.
Okay, so before we get into our forces that we came up with, I kind of want to go over some of the generic some of the campaign rules that kind of don't correlate to the armies that we made, or stuff we need to explain before we go into the armies.
Yeah.
So what they did was they set up an Oathsworn campaign, and I think there's a lot of clever stuff about this. First of all, you can take your army on 3 different Oathsworn campaigns. Unflinching Bulwark, which is kind of a defensive campaign, or garrison campaign. Then Precision Strike, which is when you're going attack mode. And then there is the Forging of Legends, which is all about your characters. Well, how do I put this? Putting their ego before the needs of the chapter. So it's about them leveling up. But I think it's clever because the reason you're doing this is to level up those characters in the Space Marines.
Right.
So it feels okay, and it actually feels pretty narrative to have these characters taking oaths of moment and going after it, going after their goals. So each campaign has a unique set of requisitions and bonus agendas. The bonus agendas you take in addition to the 2 you get normally. So the 2 you get normally are like the agendas, they get you extra XP for your guys, right? For doing things. But instead, these agendas give you honor instead of XP. The requisitions are cool too. The Bulwark one lets you be the defender regardless of mission rules, while the Precision Strike requisition lets you be the attacker regardless of mission rules. While the one for Forging of Legends awards the Warlord 5 XP for various things. Each campaign only lasts 3 battles, so I think we can see.
I like that.
Yes, because this is showing us, okay, going forward, some of these convoluted additional Crusade systems are being dialed back a little bit, so they're attainable for people who don't play a lot.
Yeah, that's one issue that I had with the Crusade stuff was, I don't play as much, and so it's more difficult for me to level up. I do know that whenever I did level up, I was like super happy about it, but yeah.
Right. Yeah, the characters are from my games with Kendrick, like units are leveling up faster. You're moving along a little bit quicker. I'm sure people who play Crusade like all the time, are thinking, "Wow, this is going quickly." Well, just play a new Crusade soon. Just end the campaign because you can do that.
Yeah.
So you gain honor for. There's also a requisition to let you fight another game in the campaign. Because in case you're saving up for something specific and you don't want the campaign to end, you can spend a requisition point to continue. So you gain honor for winning a game. So 2 honor for incursion, 3 honor for strike force, 5 for onslaught. You spend honor by promoting characters and promoting units. So you can promote a character like from captain to chapter master, or Tech Marine to Master of the Forge, whatever.
Yeah.
You can also promote units. So this is really cool. I love
Yeah.
this.
I saw that.
You can take a unit from the Scout Company and convert it to a Battle Company unit, or convert a Battle Company unit to First Company. So you can actually take a unit of Intercessors and upgrade it to a unit of Terminators.
Yeah. Let me
That
see.
is so cool.
Yeah, I was looking through that, and you could take the Assault Intercessors and promote them to Blade Guard Vets. I think that was the tree.
Right. And it's really interesting. There are some I'll get into it in a second. So after the campaign is over, your unspent honor are reduced to 0. If you lose for every 5 honor you lose without spending it on anything, you can award a unit 1 XP. So it's not like you just lose it for no reason.
Yeah.
Character promotions generally cost between 10 and 25 honor, and we'll talk more about those later because our armies include some upgrades, and we'll talk about them then.
Yeah.
We're not going to go into detail of every single one. We're trying to keep this focused on the specific armies we created as examples. The unit promotions cost between 5 and 10 on hour, and it lets you basically replace the lower ranked unit with the higher ranked unit. You keep the same XP, and I suspect the same upgrades. I think if an upgrade doesn't make sense, because you can actually take mounted units and upgrade them to First Company. So some of those mounted battle traits won't make any sense. Right. So I would let people switch battle traits. That's fine.
Yeah.
Or do like for like. You know what I'm saying? So if there's a fallback and shoot for the bike one, and there's a fallback and charge for the First Company one, then do a like for like.
Yeah.
But I kind of wanted to talk about
the units that count as Scout now.
Yeah, it is really interesting.
This is page 204 on your hymnals.
Oh,
hold on.
Thank God, because I wasn't sure what page. You see me scrolling, and when I'm starting to pontificate, and I'm trying to find a page. And
this just proves I actually did read the show notes.
Oh, are you on that page right now? Because it would be super great if you just.
So one thing that we're going to talk about is what now counts as a Scout unit. And it's because we have reserve and battle company assignments. And so you can select certain units, as we said earlier, and upgrade them. And so some of the Scout things or Scout units are like the Eliminators, which those, if I remember right, those were the sniper guys, right?
Yeah.
And then Incursor Squad, Infiltrator Squad, Reaver Squad, no shock at all in the Reaver Squad being Scouts. Yeah. None. Okay, sorry. Scout Squad and Suppressor Squad. And those are all considered our, reserve. I guess they're all reserves and Scouts.
Yeah. Well, I think it's like there's Scout squads, and then they can kind of be promoted to those Vanguard type squads, but I guess they're still considered 10th Company now. So I didn't think that would be the case.
It doesn't shock me though, the ones that are on here, I played, I had an entire Reaver list for Kill Team, and they always got beat down. And they're in that Phobos armor too. And they always they always felt like Scouts to me. And Eliminators, those are snipers, and snipers kind of belong in the Scout Company. So
and we do have the new Scout kit. I don't remember if it was out yet or not, but it was previewed at Nova Open. So Scouts are here to stay. They're not going anywhere. We're still going to have Scouts, and it's an integral part of the Space Marine lore.
Yes.
So I'm glad to hear that they're staying. And there's even still the one guy with the dumb-looking lantern jaw face, but that's fine. You don't have to use that guy if you don't want to.
So funny.
So it's really interesting. I think I want to read a little bit more in the lore section, I know they've been paring it back, but I would love to see if they go into this a little bit more.
I don't remember. I really didn't look through the lore that much, just because
we've gone through the Space Marine Codex lore 100,000 times.
I feel seen, Adam. I mean, come on. That hurt. If I could feel things, I would have noticed that.
It's like that Simpsons meme. Not Simpsons, the King of the Hill meme. If those kids could read, they'd be angry.
Yeah.
If that guy could feel, he'd be very upset with you right now.
So yeah, I have not looked through the lore on this one, because of that, and also because this is PDF, and I really hate reading. PDF on my computer.
We don't get hard copies anymore.
No,
probably because these books get sent out at the last second because of issues they're having with their printers.
Well, looking through the PDF, I noticed a couple of issues, shall we say, and just leave it there. Oh yeah, there's a few. All right. Are we now looking at the Space Marine XP agendas?
Yes, let's have a look at those.
Okay.
I jotted them down real quick because it's interesting.
Yeah. Do you remember what page that is? I did not write that down.
Sure. No, but
cool.
I'll tell you what, I wrote them out in notes.
Okay, so I'll read the notes. Okay. So one of the agendas is Angels of Death, which also awards honor, but you have to wipe out the enemy. Well,
you have to totally destroy the enemy. It's a good one for if you're playing Incursion, because for the most part, one person's going to be totally wiped out in Incursion, I think.
Yeah. One thing that's really sweet is the No Fear awards. No Fear awards XP to units who didn't fail battle shock tests, more if they were below half strength. That makes sense. Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, they literally knew no fear because your dice didn't suck. All right. Armored Assault awards vehicles XP for surviving and also for killing other enemy units. Now that is nice for surviving, because this edition does seem to be, you can kill tanks in this edition.
Yes.
Yeah. Other editions, maybe not, but this one definitely. Quest for Atonement. If the unit kills a vehicle or monster with a melee attack, it can erase certain battle scars and score 5 XP. That's pretty cool. I remember looking at that earlier and thinking that was pretty rad.
Right.
There are also new battle traits, special traits for Scout Company and First Company. More on battle traits when we talk about the armies we came up with. And what's really fun is there's a campaign tracker page on the very back that I guess you can print.
They kind of look like Oaths a Moment and Purity Seals and stuff.
Yeah, you've got it's sideways, but mission, battle size, etc. And you can go through and print these up or make copies of them, although more than likely they'll release a PDF so you can take a pic. Like, you can do that,
right,
or you can be a crazy person and get some red wax and do your own.
Get some red wax. John has some of those. Are you saying that John's a crazy person?
No, but if you want to go through and identify him that way, it's not going to bother me.
He made them as like awards for some of our tournaments.
Oh man,
remember that?
I was
very cool.
I've never won awards, man. What are you talking about?
Wah.
I know. I just haven't. All right. So next up, I guess we're gonna look at our Crusade forces.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
So, let's you know what, why don't we take a quick break and get more coffee at 9:30 p.m.
That's a great idea, Adam.
Great idea. All right, let's do it.
Come here, boy, get the ball. Come on, Max, get the ball. Mom, Max won't get the ball. He's lazy.
I think I know why your Zote is being lazy, Jenny.
Why, Mom?
Because you forgot to feed him his Zotabix today.
Oh no!
Oh yes, Zotobix contains all the nutrients and random animal parts a growing Zote craves. It not only provides our Zote with the energy it needs to play with you and protect our home, but it also keeps its chitinous shell fresh and shiny.
Oh boy, I'd better feed Max his Zotobix.
Yes, you had.
Zotobix is made in part from grade
Max,
A
time for
Astra
dinner.
Militarum post-engagement byproduct and is infused with 112 essential vitamins
No,
and
Max,
minerals
down.
harvested from your Zote's natural habitat, the finest desert depths.
Ah!
Zotobix is available in any shopping center on worlds where Zotes are allowed or where the Imperium's inexorable influence has not yet reached.
Greetings, mofos.
Are you out of George Dickel number 8, staring at a broken chess machine?
Well, don't want to spend the rest of the year tied to that couch.
Well, why don't you head on over to the 1 Hour a Night Facebook page and see what exciting stuff is going on there. It's a place to post all your daily progress in the hobby grind, as well as receive and give positive feedback. Also, there are usually a few interesting challenges going on.
That's right. All you have to do is search for 1 hour a night on Facebook. That's numeral 1 hour a night, all one word. Blood serum tests will be administered prior to approval.
Se til helvete og kom dere vekk. Det ikke bikkje, det en slags ting. Den imiterer bikkje, men det ikke det. Kom dere vekk, idioter!
What he said. Welcome back. Just had to take a quick break for coffee and to whine on Facebook about youth sports between the hours of noon and 4 p.m. Coffee. All right, Jason, why don't you talk about the Crusade force that you put together?
All right, so my Crusade force. I went ahead and went back to my Space Marine chapter of choice, the Blood Ravens.
Yeah.
A little bit of a note here. There are 2 mentions of the Blood Ravens in the Codex, one in the Librarius section, and they color plated their armor. So they're still
Love it.
they're still there.
Oh, yeah.
There's also slight detour. There's a couple of really interesting other chapters. I think they were there before, but it's just always nice to see other chapters that are not, not the big ones.
Yeah.
It's nice to see those extra smaller chapters.
They're helping you forge your own narrative, which is perfect.
Yeah, and a lot of times it feels like GW's really pushing the Smurfs, and that's fine. I have no problem with that. It's just I want to make sure that there's other stuff out there so that no one makes me paint blue, because Mike paints blue incredibly well. I look at the way he paints blue, and I think there's no way I'm ever going to get to that.
His Ultramarines are really pretty.
Yeah. Like, I have a couple of librarians from my Blood Ravens that I think I might have followed his recipe on blue or something very similar. And, that's a lot of work. So,
yeah, I wanted to talk to him about how he got through the models that we sent, that Games Workshop sent. We sent those to him after embargo. And he's been working on them. We should definitely still have him on to talk about that.
Oh, yeah, we're definitely. Yeah. I do have the Stern Guard box, but I have not had a chance to break into it yet. So, all right. Anyway, Blood Ravens theme: close combat zone mortalis force focused on retrieval of relics, artifacts, whatever. Typical force disposition. Wow, we're going to pronounce words tonight, aren't we?
Yeah, sure.
Sure, why not? I decided to go for a 1,000-point list because that's basically Zone Mortalis and, ship-to-ship fighting. If you do 2,000 points in that kind of ship-to-ship fighting, you're going to be there a while.
Yes.
You're going to be there a long time. So what we wanted to do was kind of assume that we'd played a few games in and add some of our favorite upgrades. So there's some stuff in here that is definitely right out of the Codex, but some stuff that's been upgraded. I took, what was it? It's kind of funny that I took this this list, and you'll see why in a second. I took the first company task force, which is normally My least favorite um, of the Space Marine chapters, which is the Black Templars, because they don't like psychers. And
Yeah,
cool.
they're
Yeah.
gross. I'm actually currently in the middle of the Martyr's Tomb, which is one of the Indomitus Crusade books.
Yeah.
I think, and it's all Black Templars all the time. Well, okay, not all Black, but there's a lot of Black. I think, and Black Templars have featured quite a bit in the series so far.
Yeah.
I think we're, they are.
They
They're
are
a
who
lot.
they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny that I'm taking that that list since they don't use psychers. And have I played a 40K game with Space Marines and not taken a psycher since 6th edition?
Seems no.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a giant no. I don't remember ever doing it. So anyways, took first company task force because I like Blade Guard vets. I think those units are amazing. I think they're
cool.
like one of the sword and board guys are my favorites, for lack of a better term. So detachment rule for these guys is extremis level threat. So the first company's veterans have fought at the forefront of their chapter's wars for many mortal lifespans. Experience has taught them to identify the foe's lethal threats and to lead their battle brothers to purge them from existence. So once per battle in your command phase, you use this ability. If you do until the start of your next command phase, each time a model from your army with the Oath the Moment ability makes an attack that targets your Oath the Moment target, you can reroll the wound roll as well. So it's rerolling wounds. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Rerolling wounds is a big deal, I think, especially if you're talking about fighting big things like knights and vehicles and stuff.
Well, it's funny. I mean, I was like, do I do first company task force or do I do the Raven Guard one? But I really like those Blade Guard vet models, and I was like, let's do that one. So enhancements, we have 4. We have the Imperium Sword, which is just adds 1 to attacks characteristic of the bearer's melee weapons. And I think you can only use it once per battle. Fear Made Manifest, which is an aura. And while enemy units are within 6 inches of the bearer, each time that unit fails a battle shock test, 1 model in that unit is destroyed. Once per battle, you can choose, once per battle when such an enemy unit fails a battle shock test, you can also choose for D3 models to be destroyed in this way instead. So it's always, every time they fail battle shock, they automatically lose 1. But once per battle, you can make them lose D3. Which isn't bad. You know, that's actually a good one. Yeah. There's 2 others, Rights of War and Iron Resolve. Both of them are for Terminator armor model only.
Okay. Well,
So
that makes sense, though.
Yeah, I didn't run any Terminators in this because whenever I was looking at who could attach to what, that caused a lot of problems because I wrote one list and then I read your notes like, hey, go through and make sure you can attach them to units. I was like, oh yeah, that's a 10th edition thing.
You would need a Terminator librarian
if
you wanted to attach to Terminators.
And and so that's why there's a couple of things on here that are kind of a little weird, and it's because of some of the rules on here and also those sort of attachment rules. The first enhancement for the Terminator armor is Rights of War. Improve objective control characteristics of the bearer by 1. Not too bad. Iron Resolve. Bearer has Feel No Pain 5 up. And
what's that on? Is that on the Blade Guard? Or is that on the?
That's on it's a Terminator model, so it'd have to be one of your characters.
Okay.
So if I Feel No Pain once per battle after the bearer's unit is selected as a target, and if it does use it when they're being targeted, the entire unit has the Feel No Pain on 5 up, which I could see a lot of ways that could be pretty tough. You could make
Right.
you could make you could make a Death Star, well, maybe not a Death Star unit, but you could make a real tough Terminator unit.
Yeah. Which you want them to be tough. You want them to
Yeah.
be implacable.
Right.
Stand there and take it.
Yeah. In our stratagems, they've got 6, which I think I had this discussion before, and I'm going to have it again. I love that we've reduced these numbers on stratagems because it makes it kind of easier. It's not as granular, but whenever you have 6 or 7 or 8, however many detachments, who cares? You can go through and get more granular there.
Yeah.
Armor of Contempt. So, what is it? One Adeptus Astartes unit from your army that was selected as a target of one or more of the attacking units. Until the end of the phase, each time an attack targets your unit, worsen the armor penetration characteristic by 1.
That's cool.
That is pretty cool. Duty and Honor. Duty. There we go. During the movement phase, one of your guys, there's a bunch of units, basically can keep an objective marker under control longer, which I think is a good one.
Yeah, because you're standing firm.
Yeah. Here's the chapter. Your shooting or fight phase. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit makes an attack, add 1 to the hit roll. If the unit's below half strength, add 1 to the wound roll as well.
Oh, nice. So the more desperate the situation,
Yeah.
the better they are. That's cool.
And this one's on Terminators, Blade Guard Vet, Stern Guard, or Vanguard Vet, which, definitely those guys. This one I like, Orbital Teleportarium. Any of your opponent's fight phase, one Adeptus Astartes Terminator unit, basically you can teleport a group out into strategic reserves.
Neat. Like a redeploy almost.
Yeah. And that's both a stratagem, and I think for Crusade there is an upgrade, because I think I put it on one of my guys as an upgrade. Terrifying Proficiency, your fight phase. In your opponent's next command phase, each enemy unit within 6 inches of your unit must take a battle shock test. If the unit taking that test is below half strength, subtract 1 from that test. Enemy units affected by the stratagem do not need to take any other battle shock. So you can force someone to take a battle shock, which for Space Marines, who cares? But maybe for Guard, they're gonna care.
Yeah.
And the last one, Legendary Fortitude. Until the end of the turn, each time an attack is allocated to a model in your unit, subtract 1 from the damage characteristic of that attack. So this is, I think this is during your opponent's charge phase. So yeah, but real nice. I do like these enhancements and stratagems. I do like the Teleportarium one quite a bit, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fun.
Although it's only for Terminators, which means I can't use it for my list.
Right.
All right. Stratagems, we got all that. All right, so let's talk about my units, because why not? And we can make all sorts of jokes about that. So the points for this are from the app, which there's 1 points cost in the back of the book. They released they released another points update, right?
Yeah, there was another points update.
And so this is out of the app, and we'll just
go
with the app.
Can't be bothered.
Yeah,
I just can't be bothered.
I have no idea. I think my app was updated because there's all this locked content.
Oh, yeah. If it's all locked, it was updated.
Which is cool. I mean, that's nice. Let's go through and find everyone that's on here. So my first up is a captain. Originally, I was going to take a captain in Terminator armor, but then the whole
attached
stuff just blew me up. So I just took one in basic power armor and attached them to a Blade Guard Vet squad. So he's got a heavy bolt pistol. He's got the master-crafted power weapon.
Nice.
And the he's basically a sword and board guy. He's got the.
Okay.
I mean, he looks like, I think it's the captain that came out of that box set years ago.
And you even gave him the sword enhancement.
Yeah. Yeah, just because, why not? Let's give some more. I mean, you want a captain that could come in there and stab. Can stab you,
Yes.
stab.
Yeah.
I think he's supposed to have a relic shield. Yeah, he has a relic shield also. It's not. I forgot to write that in there. Which I think gives him +1 wound. So his wound characteristic is 6 instead of 5.
No, you gave him the Astartes teleportation transponder.
Yeah, because you don't have to be in Terminator armor to take that. Haha.
Okay, what does that one do?
Basically, it just allows you. Hold on, let me bounce over to. This is page 210 in your hymnals.
Yeah, it's a Crusade relic.
Yeah, it's a relic. There's a reason I wrote all these numbers in because I'm going to
you're
sit here
smart.
and burn words, burn time.
Yeah.
Okay. During the declare battle formation step, if this model is attached to a unit until the end of the battle, that unit has the deep strike ability.
Oh, fun.
So I could put that in a Blade Guard Vet squad and make someone's day a little more painful.
No, I love that. You're like, oh, I'm not taking Terminators. Guess what? These guys are basically Terminators now.
So for those of you who have never really played me and didn't play me during 7th edition, I've always been of the opinion of you can deploy wherever you want. Give me a second, I'll be right there. Because I've always liked that. I've always liked teleporting in. I've liked being on bikes. I've liked deep striking just because that's kind of my play style, which is weird that I'm playing Thousand Suns. It's not weird when I play demons because that's kind of what demons do, but but yeah, I like being able to bounce around, and so I thought, hey, let's do that. That'll be fun. Next up, we have a librarian for 65 points. Duh. Now, I want to take the librarian and the Terminator armor. Same difference. I couldn't attach them to anything. And so I was thinking, well, this is Zone Mortalis list. I wonder if, the Space Marines have like a Flamer squad or something like that. And then I was like, oh, we've got an Infernus squad. So he's attached to the Infernus squad because nothing spells fun like a bunch of guys, setting things on fire.
Fun with flames.
That's right. Bolt pistol, force weapon, basically stock. Smite is the psychic power, which is nice that they kept that. I haven't really looked at the other librarians to see if they all have different versions. I think they kind of do.
Do
they have different? Let's see.
Well, they have different. Everybody has an attack, right? Like
yeah. Oh, but they're all smite. Every one of them's a smite. So like with Thousand Suns, everyone's different because everyone's they need to have a whole bunch of different sorcerers, and so they need to have a whole bunch of different other things. So anyways, attached there. Let's see if smite. If we had several games played, I would give the librarian the chapter command upgrade to the chief librarian. And
was Chief Librarian 20 honor, something like that?
It was something like that. Like I looked at that and went, yeah, that's the guy I gotta have. This is page 203 in your hymnals, everyone.
Okay.
It is 203 on the hymnal, right? Was it 204?
I mean, that's what you put.
Well, the problem is, and I don't want to be mean to GW, but the numbers on the pages do not correspond to the numbers in the PDF.
In the PDF? Well, yeah, probably because the cover is page 1 of the PDF.
All right, so Chief Librarian, this is Librarian only. It is 15 honor points.
15, okay.
Yeah.
You can do that in one campaign.
Yeah, and you can choose either Psychic Scourge or Empiric Castellan.
Okay.
I liked Psychic Scourge because, at the start of your shooting phase, you can select one enemy unit within 12 inches of and visible to this model and roll 1d6. On a 3 to 5, that unit suffers d6 mortal wounds.
Ugh.
On a 6, that unit suffers d6 mortal wounds. And until the start of your next turn, half that unit's move characteristic and have the results of charge rolls and advanced rolls made for that unit.
Ugh. That's a good one for boarding actions.
Yeah.
That is so good.
I looked at that and went, that's what I want. The Empiric Castellan's actually quite nice. What is it? While an Adeptus start a unit from your armies within 6 inches, models get a 4-up invul. But
okay. So it's more of a defensive one.
It's more defensive, but I thought, you know what, let's literally just punch
Psychic
them in
Scourge
the face.
for sure.
Yeah. And I thought, hey, if we're doing a Crusade relic, I would give him the Adamantine Cuirass. Yeah, page 210. There we go. Which adds 1 to the bear's toughness and wounds characteristics, which librarians in every edition have been almost like Glassjaw. You know?
Yeah.
So... last HQ, Tech Marine, because we're thinking about relics and we're thinking about, getting those sorts of things.
Yeah. No, that makes total sense to have a Tech Marine there to help loot.
And I've always made that joke is, with the Blood Ravens, you need to nail everything down and be honest, they have a Tech Marine with the pry bar. So I attached
and you upgraded this guy as well?
Yeah, possible upgrade. I attached him to an assault intercessor squad. Everything else is. I wish he was a heavier armor, but the possible upgrade is our favorite upgrade.
Yeah,
to the Master of the Forge.
Yeah, I also have one in my army, which makes a lot of sense. I picked the other upgrade though, so why don't you do this one?
So I took Liturgy of Resanctification.
Okay,
isn't it nice that they put a word that I'm going to have to sit there and think about? All right. Each time this model uses its Blessing and Omnissiah ability, the selected vehicle regains up to D3 plus 3 wounds instead of just D3.
Oh.
And that's pretty cool.
That's amazing.
And you'll see why. I mean, I put him in here because narratively it fits, but there's also another reason I put the Tech Marine in. Battle line, I brought in 2 Assault Intercessor squads. Their stock. Other data sheets, so all the other schmucks. I took 3 squads of Blade Guard vets. Each of the sergeants has a plasma pistol because... why not?
Yeah.
I did take a Brutalis Dread so that the Tech Marine can just kind of follow him around.
Hang out.
And since I'm thinking, hey, this is like Zone Mortalis, put on 2 the Twin Multi-Melta upgrade and the Brutalis Talons so that it's more...
Heck yeah.
Yeah, it's more close combat rather than shooty.
I love that.
And 2 more Furnace squads because you need all the fire that you can.
All the fire. Yeah, as much fire as possible. I love it. What a great list.
Yeah, it looks fun.
I would love to play against this. Yeah. That's so cool. And I love you do have a couple of like non-first company guys in there, but you can always upgrade them later to like Blade Guard or whatever.
Yeah.
And the Inferno Squad guys. It's so cool. Or they could get Terminator honors, which is one of the upgrades that you can get.
Oh, is it?
And if you have Terminator honors, you can upgrade them to Terminators for free.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
There's so much in this. I haven't really had a chance to look at it as well as I would like to. There's so many like little cool gnarly things that you can play around with.
Yeah. Yeah, and this proves you can do it in any. You can use it just about any chapter. Imperial Fists would be great for this first company.
Yeah.
Just all Terminators, just an all Terminator, all yellow Terminator Imperial Fist army.
Ugh, man.
Or
my airbrush just burped.
Yeah, or you could do a whole campaign of the second Tyrannic War, where in the first company of Ultramarines fought off the Tyranids.
Oh yeah,
on Macragge.
Yeah,
that would be so fun using this detachment. Yeah. Okay, so my Crusade force, I decided to go with the Sons of Medusa.
I've known you a long time. And this has been the list that you have thought about and talked about how you want to do, but you don't want to pull the trigger on it.
I sure don't. Yeah. So the Sons of Medusa are buttheads. Let me read word for word the description in the Codex. The Sons of Medusa are utterly ruthless and share the Iron Hand's reliance on the power of the machine and intolerance of the weakness of flesh. The chapter's unorthodox organizational doctrine sees its companies divided between 3 war clans and is notable for its furious aggression, large-scale use of armored transports, and thundering armored spearheads that it drives deep into enemy lines. So I went for a shock and awe
Yeah.
tank army.
Yeah.
The theme I put is tanks a lot. That's for you, John.
Yeah. I saw that. I'm like, I'm not putting a pun in mine.
So I went with the Ironstorm Spearhead detachment, which is all about tanks.
Yeah.
So going to page 110 of your hymnals.
Yep.
Which, like I said, I may just have to pontificate here a moment while it loads. It's fine.
Yeah. This is a rather large PDF, and
it's so big.
Yeah.
There's a lot here, which is good. That's a good thing. I'm glad it's so big. So the detachment rule for these guys is that so not only do you get, like, everybody gets the Oath of Moment thing, where at the start of in your command phase, you pick an enemy unit and everybody gets to reroll hits against that unit. It's pretty brutal. These guys, once per phase, for each unit in your army, you can reroll 1 hit roll, 1 wound roll, and 1 damage roll. Or 1 damage roll. So you get a reroll for every unit in your army.
Whoa.
Which is pretty nice. Yeah. Yeah, it's like the old orc Death Skulls rule, where you get a single reroll for every unit, which is really nice.
Honestly, I like this rule better than I like the first company rule.
Well, and this one's really great for some, like, I'll get into it when I go into the units, okay?
Yeah.
So for the enhancements, you have a target augury web, which is Tech Marine only.
Nice.
Vehicle units within 6 inches have lethal hits.
Mm-hmm.
All vehicles within 6 inches have lethal hits. So they automatically wound when they hit on 6s.
Yeah.
That upgrade is 40 points.
That's fine.
Because it's worth 40. Might be worth 60 points, Jason.
We'll see when those numbers come out. Yeah.
Yeah, the flesh is weak. You get 4+ feel no pain. Wasn't flesh is weak on your list as well?
No.
No? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the stratagems are duplicated, and I suspect some of the enhancements might also be duplicated. I was wondering this at the start of the edition, whether some of these detachments would have overlap on some of the stratagems and enhancements, and I think yes, they do.
Yeah.
But some of them make sense for them to be in multiple detachments. You don't need all of your stratagems and stuff to be unique to the detachment. The third one is Adept of the Omnissiah. That's another Tech Marine only one, and once per battle round, reduce the damage of one attack versus a vehicle to 0.
Oh.
The cool thing about this one is it's not the first attack. You pick which attack, and you can actually wait until you fail the save before you say, you know what, reduce it to 0.
That is nice. That
is super nice because you can actually see the result of the damage before you choose to use the ability.
Yeah. That is good.
I love that. And then Master of the Machine War, vehicle units within 6 inches of the character can fall back or run and still shoot.
Yeah.
That is also pretty fancy.
Yeah, that is.
Especially if it's perfect for Sons of Medusa, because again, they're not sitting in the backfield shooting. They are getting into it and shooting in these transports, right?
Yeah.
So imagine a captain with that ability in a repulsor, right? Which is this transport that has 1 billion guns, or a Terminator in a Land Raider Crusader. And that Land Raider Crusader gets stuck in. Well, the Land Raider Crusader can now fall back and shoot and have no penalties to the shoot. Yeah. I think that because it's going to get engaged in combat.
Yeah.
If it's getting pushed forward like that.
I like that. That is pretty big. Hold on. Is that one? What is it again? Because that almost sounds like a White Scars one. that makes
Yeah,
sense.
almost. Yeah, it could, and it might be one of the one. I would suspect that the white scars can just fall back and charge all the time.
Eligible to declare a charge in a turn in which they advanced or fell back. Yeah.
Is that just a general rule for them?
Yeah, that's their overall rule.
Yeah, they could. Yeah. If they could fall back and charge anytime they want. Yeah, I that sounds right. That is the ability they should have.
They have fainting withdrawal. They're eligible to shoot in a turn in which fell back. Yeah.
And let's be honest, it's not fallback. It's, we're gonna disengage and get even deeper into your deployment zone, not go back to our own deployment zone. Let's be clear on how that's being used.
We're falling backwards, forwards. Yeah.
Yes. The stratagems are cool. Unbowed Conviction, that's 1 CP, and allows a unit to act as if it's not damaged or bracketed. So if a tank is like down to its last couple of wounds, it can behave as if it's not damaged.
Oh, nice. That is a good one, especially for Iron Hands. I mean, this is an
Armor
Iron
of
Hands,
Contempt.
But,
Armor, that is one that's duplicated on yours.
That is.
Reduce the AP of enemy attacks against a unit. Mercy is weakness, which is that's a hell of a thing.
Yeah.
Sustained hits against units that are below starting strength. That's mean.
Ooh.
Yeah. So you get extra.
Yeah.
You get extra hits on 6s if you're attacking someone who's below starting strength, and if the attacking unit is a vehicle, it scores critical hits on a 5.
Whoa.
So can you imagine like an anti-infantry tank with like a billion attacks just go?
Yeah.
Vengeful Animus, auto explode your vehicle. This detachment is written for me. I will save a 1 CP at all times to do that.
Oh, I know you.
Yeah. It's not even like on a 4+. It is, you straight up just explode. So yes, I am pushing my repulsor forward into your face, and I dare you to blow me up. Instead,
this is part of the effect. Instead, mortal wounds are automatically inflicted. Do not roll 1d6.
Yeah, they're like, here you go. Ancient Fury.
Wow.
This one's for dreadnoughts. I wouldn't be taking dreadnoughts in my army, but I can imagine someone might use this for a dreadnought army, which I'm down with that. I'm super down with that. For that turn, your dreadnought gets +1 to move, toughness, save, leadership, objective control, and +1 to hit until your next command phase. So you just juice up and one of your ancients. And then Power of the Machine Spirit. 1 CP is all of these are 1 CP. If your vehicle is reduced to below half strength, it gets to shoot back at the enemy who did it.
You know,
so you're just like it's kind of like Overwatch, but way better.
Yeah, because they don't care about 6s.
No, it's just regular shooting. If you get me below half strength, I will murder you.
You know what's really cool about these, or at least what I'm liking, is that each one of these detachments takes 2 pages.
Yeah.
2 pages. Easy 2 pages.
Yeah.
Now, why does that mean anything? And why would I be excited about that? That means that GW could literally just drop detachments in White Dwarf.
Yes.
They could drop them as part of a new box set. They could drop them because it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they could take the Christmas box sets.
Yeah.
They could print a detachment that goes with the models in that Christmas box set, and you could straight up use that detachment with the box set.
God, I hope they don't do 1,000 Suns box set for Christmas.
Wouldn't that be just the worst?
Oh.
No, or if they do, it's just all Zangor. Okay.
Well, wait, I've got them. It doesn't matter.
You don't need that.
If they can come up with a detachment that needs more Zangor than I've got, that's more power to them. Sure, go for it.
So this is 10th edition. So I'm going to talk about this isn't my roster. It's just a list. I went with a 2,000 point list because it's, big armored spearhead on the battlefield. 2,000 points is going to be the minimum I want to play at.
Yeah.
And I wanted to feature all of the cool, like every unit in 10th edition seems to have a cool special ability that sets it apart from the others.
Yeah.
And I want to feature those here just so we can get a taste of what it's like in this codex, okay?
Yeah.
So let's start with, I'm going by tanks here because literally nothing should be not in a tank, okay?
Yeah, definitely.
The first one is the Repulsor, Chariot of Contempt. So the Repulsor has emergency combat embarkation. If a unit is selected as a target of a charge, they can embark on the Repulsor, and their opponent has to pick a new target for their charge. They can yoink back in the Repulsor. No, thank you. Don't want to be charged today. It's kind of unspace marine-y, but whatever. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
So I gave the Repulsor a battle trait, Focused Machine Spirit.
Yeah.
It has no penalty for shooting in combat. So I know this Repulsor is going to get stuck in, so might as well make it so it doesn't have a -1 to hit in combat.
Right.
When it's shooting in combat with all of those guns that it has. Captain in Gravis armor leads the unit that's inside the Repulsor.
Mm-hmm.
He can target himself with a stratagem for 0 CP, even if the strat was already used on another unit this phase.
Oh, nice.
I think that's almost every captain has that, as far as I could tell. He also takes half damage.
Oh, okay.
In the Gravis armor, yeah.
Yeah, I look at the Gravis armor, guys.
You're allowed to attach lieutenants along with captains. So I also attached a lieutenant to this unit.
Okay.
And when a lieutenant is attached, the unit gets lethal hits.
Oh.
And also the unit can fall back and still shoot in charge.
Yeah.
Lieutenant's awesome.
Yeah.
So therefore, the unit inside is an Eradicator squad. So they're all Melta dudes. So 3 giant Melta dudes in Gravis armor shooting Melta. And for the love of God, I don't know why they did this. Eradicators that target a monster or vehicle get to reroll their hits.
Yeah.
They get to reroll their wounds, and they get to reroll their damage rolls.
Well, yeah,
not
because,
or, and.
Well, because that is their shtick, man. They only come in like squads of 3, right? So they need to be able. I mean, that's their job, is to take out vehicles or monsters.
Yeah, this codex, I'm looking at it, and I feel like all the stuff that has that one shot, one kill.
Yeah,
they really want you to feel good about taking them, and they realize it hurts. It kind of hurts to have that one cool shot miss.
Yeah,
or fail to wound.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, that's why people used to not take Melta before.
Right,
you know, you could
it's
sit
like
there
when it hits.
What was it? It used to be 15 points, which meant one other body, and if they missed with the Melta or the multi-Melta, and then there was also the multi-Melta was heavy, and so it couldn't even move.
Yeah.
So there's, I support it. I think that's a good idea. I mean, it's gonna make some monsters real dead, but you know what? That's fine.
That's what they get.
That's what they're there for.
So you get lethal hits in there, so you automatically wound, and they can fall back and shoot. So even if they're up front with a captain getting stuck in, they can just fall back and shoot their Meltas with no problem. I gave them Marksman's Honors +1 BS, so sure, 2s to hit, rerolling,
cool,
auto wounding on 6s. This is just idiotic.
Yeah.
Then okay, so then we have an Impulsor.
Yeah.
Impulsors are cool. They're the little Primaris transports that carry 6. Units can disembark after it advances, which is nutty.
Yeah.
But the unit that disembarks doesn't count as having advanced. They just count as having moved.
Yeah.
They can't charge, though.
Right. Oh, okay.
The Impulsor still has the comms array option for CP generation and a shield Jome option for 5+ invulnerable. So in there, I put a lieutenant with combi weapon, which is actually a Phobos unit.
Okay.
With that unit on the battlefield, you can identify an objective as the priority objective, and your army can reroll 1s to wound against enemies within range of that objective.
Okay.
So you make one objective super, like just having him on the battlefield does that.
Wow.
That's pretty neat. Yeah, he's just for him being there, you get to reroll 1s to wound against people standing on the objective you want to go after.
That's nuts.
That's pretty cool. And attached to him is a 5 model Hellblaster squad. And remember how we used to put a Primaris Ancient inside the Hellblaster squad so that when they die, they get to shoot anyways?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you just get that now. They get to shoot after they die. So even if they die from a hazardous weapon roll,
So, yeah.
like if they overheat and die, they get to shoot before they die again.
You know, I have like 2 full units of Hellblasters painted.
Yeah. And that's not even me being gamey. It literally says that in a book. The book says, yes, you get to do this even if you die from overheating.
I don't know. This
It's really
almost makes me want to run my Space Marines again. Almost.
Right? It's crazy. I gave them a battle trait because I suspect that these Hellblasters will be dead every game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I gave them Aquila Imperialis. They get to reroll out of action tests because they're always dying.
Yeah.
And they can be the target of stratagems even if they're battle shocked. So they're
nice.
just used to being
Yeah.
miserable
Yeah.
and covered in fire and plasma.
Yeah, that's... Yeah, because I have those guys built and painted because they kept sending them to us as part of the old box sets. Yeah.
Yeah. I got another Impulsor with a Hellblaster squad in it. So just having those 2 Impulsors with the Hellblaster squads, I think that's a fun,
Yeah.
that's kind of my battle line.
Okay.
If you know what I mean. They're not battle line, but they kind of I would use them as my battle line.
Right.
Then I have like a weird odd man out here. I have a drop pod, and I really only added this because I don't think I would actually do this in this army, but I wanted to talk about the drop pod because you can actually now carry Primaris in it.
Finally.
Yeah, and they can be the drop pod can come in on turn 1 like it used to.
Yeah.
I put a 10 model Inferno squad in there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because I love their special rule, which I didn't talk about.
Yes, they force battle shock tests when they shoot someone.
Yeah. Like,
Here's fire.
Well, because I was looking at it as like, cool, let's get some, flamer action going on in the Zone Mortalis. I was like, all right. And I saw that and I'm like, really? Okay. I mean, with that much flame, you're probably going to make them do a battle shock test anyway, but this forces it.
So I did add a single fast attack unit here, the Storm Speeder Thunderstrike, because I felt like I would need some kind of tank to guard my flanks, right? So this is Epona. It is a Storm Speeder Thunderstrike. They're 160 points. They're pretty pricey, but when it hits an enemy vehicle or monster, it tags it kind of to provide +1 to hit for other units in your army that target it. Space Marines seem to be all about focus firing units down to nothing.
Well, that's kind of what they're supposed to do. So
yeah. The Storm Speeder Hammer Strike is cool too. It removes cover saves when they shoot an enemy unit.
Yeah.
Which I thought that was cool, but I chose a Thunderstrike for this one.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm
I
have looking through the models right now.
Right, yeah, they're the big kind of 1950s car looking air speeders. So I have a Tech Marine in here. They get lone operative when they're standing near tanks. So they're protected.
Oh, yeah.
They don't have to be attached to a unit.
Yeah.
So this one's kind of walking next to the tanks. Blessing of the Omnissiah is their ability that heals D3 wounds. That also gives +1 to hit to 1 tank every turn as well when you do it. It's the orc one is the orc big mech. It's the same ability.
Yeah.
If a Space Marines vehicle is destroyed within 12 inches, he gets super pissed about that and goes from 4 attacks to 7 attacks with his Omniscient Axe.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. I definitely gave this guy the target augury web for 40 points. The one that gives you sustained hits. I forget what it was. Anyways, Masters of the Forge, 15 honor.
There we go.
I got Shielded of the Machine God. And that adds another benefit when you do Blessing of the Omnissiah. The vehicle gets a 4+ invulnerable.
Nice.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Then I got another Tech Marine. So this army has 2 Tech Marines. I think it kind of needs 2 Tech Marines, and it makes sense for the theme.
It's Sons of Medusa. It's basically Iron Hands, and yeah, it needs running multiple Tech Marines makes sense. Me running multiple Librarians makes sense also.
Yes, precisely. If you were going up to 2,000 points, you definitely have 2 Librarians.
I definitely have like
at least
2 or 3.
Yeah. All right, now the tanks, the actual proper tanks. Predator Destructor, Storm of Talus. It improves its AP versus infantry by 1.
Oh, nice.
So that's a Predator Destructor. So that's the one with the autocannon. And I suspect heavy bolters on the sponsons is how I do that. So yeah, you have those light AP weapons, but if you're shooting infantry, it goes up by 1. So that's nice. Then I have a Predator Annihilator, a Lance of Manus. That one reroll damage rolls of 1 versus monsters and vehicles. I like that. I like the Predator Annihilator with just all the las cannons. So I gave it the battle trait Resilient Machine Spirit for +2 wounds.
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool one. I suspect if I were to do Sons of Medusa as a Crusade force, there's only 3 upgrades for vehicles, so I'm pretty sure most of my tanks would end up with +2 wounds over time.
Yeah, probably.
Then I have a Gladiator Reaper. These are actually, the Gladiators are fairly low price. Like they're only 150 and 160 points. Gladiator Reaper is Gift of the Primarch. Yeah, just assuming like this was personally given to them by Gilliman. The main gun, which is a twin heavy onslaught Gatling cannon. It has 12 attacks and is strength 6. That has the sustained hits 1 against infantry. That's pretty cool, and that's just bristling with weapons. Then the Gladiator Lancer, Bane of Engines, that gets to reroll 1 hit, wound, and damage roll.
Yeah.
That's the super duper laser gun one. So not only does it get to reroll 1,
there it is. Okay.
they actually, in addition, they also have a reroll from the detachment.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right.
Whoa, yeah, that's a lot.
So yeah, this the Lancer is just going to hit, and it's just going to wound, and it's just going to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, I finally found it in the hymnal.
Oh yeah, it's got the super duper laser gun, right?
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, can you give me the profile on its super duper laser gun?
Is this a Lance Laser Destroyer?
I think so.
Yeah, it's the Gladiator. Gladiator.
Yeah,
Lancer.
it's 2 attacks, right?
Yeah. Hold on. This PDF is blah.
Yeah, it's so bad. Yeah.
Lancer Laser Destroyer Heavy, 72-inch range. Okay, 2 attacks, 3 at BS, 14 strength, -4 AP because nothing says I'd like to talk to you about your car's extended warranty like -4 AP. Damage D6 +3.
Yeah.
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 That's just
and imagine being
1.
to just to reroll whatever.
Oh, that'd be brutal. Because you could, 72 inches, that's, unless you're on a diagonal, that reaches out and touches everybody.
Right. Yeah. It really does. And again, that what was it? The where's the enhancements? The target augury web.
Yeah.
If the vehicles within 6 inches have lethal hits, so they automatically wound on 6s.
Yeah.
And with all those rerolls going on, like it might happen.
Yeah.
It might happen. So I love it. I love this. I'm feeling the same as you about this. Like just looking at this and going over this exercise of building a Crusade army, on a theme is making me really. It's doing its job, man. I would love to build this army. It sounds like a lot of work.
What makes
I need to take an airbrush class if I'm ever going to do this army. I'm not going to lie.
What makes me kind of laugh is, every time I get Space Marines, they're automatic Blood Ravens. And over the years, I just keep painting more and more. And I realized that with everything I've painted, I have brutal lists if I want to run them.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, same
I
thing,
have
right?
some
Like-
mean lists. You
like
know?
that's the thing, man. Like, and that's what I keep. That's what I keep telling people.
Yeah.
If you have one army that you just have everything for,
Yeah.
and you keep just trying to have everything for, you'll always have what you need to do
Yeah.
the job. So whether that's a narrative army or a competitive army or whatever,
Yeah.
if you focus on that one army, you can always have a list. I'm not saying don't dabble,
Yeah.
but don't think that you can have the best list for every army you own. Instead, focus on the one army to the best of your ability and then dabble elsewhere and for funsies.
I think it was in 9th edition, maybe 8th, where what were those cannons called?
Oh,
They were
yeah.
they were resin.
The Tech Marine one.
Yeah, the Tech Marine Thunderstrike
Yeah,
cannons.
those were those were terrible.
Yeah, and the meta was you took 3 of them and basically almost auto won your game. And I had 4. And I never ran them because one, I remember painting them and hating literally everything in the planet. Or the first one, then the other 3 are secondary market cannons from, I think, Anvil Industry or someone.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember thinking, I could make everyone's life miserable, but I'm not going to because I don't care.
No, especially because templates. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, I remember. Actually, that might be the reason why I quit running that. Was because in 7th edition I ran it a couple of times, and it was the template wars. I'm like, this is so annoying. It's so annoying.
But yeah, I'm actually glad we did this exercise. It was fun, and I could see us doing this for other codexes and it not being boring. This was nice.
Well, I think
as long as we're interested in it, right? Like,
Yeah,
I'm glad we did this. All right, let's take a quick break and we'll come back and close out the show.
Oh, we've reached level 6.
Welcome back. Well, hopefully, I'll be back for episode 218. I won't have crashed and burned in a fiery wreck in the Gulf of Mexico.
Wow. Okay. We're doing that, are we? Okay.
Or been abducted by warlords in the Caribbean for some reason.
Okay.
And sold for drug money or whatever.
Okay.
Ransom, because nobody can afford me. I get a lot of anxiety about travel.
Oh, well, it'll be fine. It'll be, I mean, it's not like you're invading a small country or anything.
Oh, Jesus. I don't want to get into that.
Yeah, I know.
But I kind of do wish we could have gotten a cruise to Jamaica instead. That would have been, I would have liked that more than flying, for sure.
Flying there are people who love flying. There are people who hate flying. People who love and hate flying. So there's nothing wrong with that.
I will try to brainstorm what the next episode's going to be about, unless you want to, unless, listener, you want to message us and say, I want to hear about this. I want to talk about this. I think this is an interesting topic.
Or if GW releases something else.
I'm happy to pawn that responsibility onto someone who's not me. I'm not sure when this will release.
It'll release soon.
I hope so.
Yeah.
If it's done for tomorrow, I can do it tomorrow. If it's not, I'm gonna have to bring my laptop with me to vacation.
You mean you'll have to work on vacation? Oh boy.
Brutal. Right? You know all about that.
Yeah. I'm trying to think the last time I went on vacation when I didn't have to work. I think that was before I had the job I have now. Yeah. So yeah.
All right. Well, until then,
play the game the way you want to.
You're so unfunny.
I know, but I'm not saying any racist slurs either, so.
This podcast is protected by the Creative Commons Attribution, No Derivatives, Non-Commercial International License. More information about this license and contact information if you have any requests can be found at our blog, mastersoftheforge.com.
We'd love it if you could give us a positive rating and review on iTunes.
If you'd like to keep in contact with us, you can follow us on Facebook or Twitter by searching for Masters of the Forge.
And you can follow our hobby progress on Instagram with the hashtag Masters of the Forge.
If you'd like to engage with us directly, you can always join our Discord server.
To do so, or if you have any questions, topic suggestions, or if you'd like to advertise your creative hobby endeavor,
contact us at mastersoftheforge@gmail.com.
Please consider supporting us on Patreon at patreon.com/mastersoftheforge. Thanks.
It's such a good feeling to play games your way. It's such a happy feeling 40K'ing away. And when you throw dice with story in mind, it's such a wonderful way to unwind. It's a good feeling, a very good feeling, the feeling you know that we'll be back when the fortnight's new, and we'll have new ideas for you, and you'll have things you'll want to talk about. We will too.